Greetings and welcome to the Fuzzles. Yes, they do have a name now. Chose the name because F is for the fun, U is for ugly, and they're a bit of a puzzle. So I came up with the name Fuzzle. There were hundreds and hundreds of people who had names, and probably somebody within there may have had that name too. Had a lot of frazzles, had a lot of different type of gnomes and everything, but chose the name Fuzzles, 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 for these cute but ugly guys here, and they were fun to make. So I'm going to take the time to show you how I made them and why I considered them a gnome, because I came up with the idea using a gnome body, and I'm going to show you the different things we can do with making the bodies too, and putting the beard on them, and then adding on top of that. So it started out with the basic concept of the gnomes. So they became gnome creatures. So first off, I'm going to show you just the basic body that I've done. I'm not going to build one here for you, but let you know you have your choice of how you want to make your bodies, because I started out using my basic pattern, the basic gnome pattern, and found that I wanted more room up top to glue those big eyes on there. So I switched over to my gnome house pattern. Now, you don't have to have just a regular house, my patterns or anything like that. You can use a sock gnome. A sock gnome would work out great with this. Also, if you're using like the pool noodles would work out great too, because of the amount of space that you have up top here. The foam cones, you can use those, but again, they're a little bit harder with the point coming to a point there. So I liked something that had more of a top up here base, and I'll show you why too when we get to gluing the eyes on and everything. But you can use whatever body that you have and adjust and make it usable for that. Even if you're using like the large one, I haven't tried that yet with the large, but I plan on playing with that so I can make some more large of the character too. So I'm going to assume to start out with that you have a body, that you know how to make your own body, whatever type of structure you use. Also with the arms you can make however you want to. These are the basic felt arms that I have that with most of my patterns are the exact same. So I made a bunch of those just out of that, stuffed them there. So we're going to be attaching them, but you can also use if you're using the Dollar Tree curlers and just wrap around them. You can use those and make your arms. If you want a bendable arm, you can do that. Again, this is just basically building on top of what you already have with the basics. And that's a lot of times what I teach is start with the basics. Just do your basics and build from there. So again, this is my gnome home pattern. It's the basic there that I use for some of my patterns here. I'm going to put that aside. So start with the body, then I'm going to make a beard. Now the beard can be any color you want. That's the great thing with these guys. I can choose from all different colors, just picking out a color here, do different colors. I have materials, and these are just ones that I've picked up like at Joann's, different type of faux furs. That's all they are, is faux furs. So you just pick out whatever colors that you want that go, that you want to put in here, want to go along. And again, I'm not going to go into cutting out the fur or anything, but again, we're going to cut it along the back. And I do, for my gnomes, a 3 to 3.5 inches across by 4 inches down the middle. You can widen it a little bit. You can lengthen it just a little bit in order to fit on there. 3 to 3.5 inches by 4 inches down on my beard. There are plenty of other videos out there showing how to do it, so I'm already got a pre-cut here, but we're just cutting on the back like with an X-Acto knife, so we're not cutting into the fur. You can also, if you don't have colored fur, if you're just not getting to find the right on Amazon or at Joann's, take some of your white fur. And these are just pastel chalks that I bought at Hobby Lobby. Of course, got them when they were on sale, when they're 40% off. And I colored my furs. If you look at some of my floral gnomes that I've done, you'll see some colored beards in them. And now they're just easy to put on the pastels, and you got colors there. And the color does remain on there. So I've been able to make that too. So if you just have a white fur and you got some pastels, you can color them too. There are also a lot of videos out there on YouTube too to show you how to cut, how to make bodies, how to color your fur there. So that's why I'm going to get into just putting together our fuzzle here. And I'm going to pick a color here just to start out with, and this doesn't matter. And what I'm going to do is just run my hot glue right down the center there. I don't want to glue it all down yet. And I'm covering my seam. Covering my seam and gluing right up to the top there. Since I picked that one, I'm going to pick out another one. I have, must be at least 40, 50 people asking if they can order these or make these, and there's no way that I can make all those. I don't do a production line. So I'm going to make a few more here. I put off a few days making these in order to get more supplies. I did not realize they were going to be so popular when I made the first couple, and so I went back and bought more. So here we have just the basic, and I just glued down the center, glued down where the seam is. And the reason I did that was so I have something to cover up the arms. This doesn't have the traditional gnome hat where we usually cover up. So what I'm going to do is use the corner of the beard to cover up my arms. Now, because they're colorful, you can see I have all different colored arms here. You can use the same color on there. You could use different colors. Looking at the front here, you really don't see the arms, and I used different colors to go with these guys just to add some fun character to them. So I'm just going to pick out a couple arms here. As I said, I've already sewed them together, stuffed them. And before I put them on here, it's your choice now what you want to use for the hand. Now, I usually use the 3/4 inch wood balls for most of my gnomes when I'm putting them together. But for these guys, I found to add a little bit more color to them, I stopped in at Hobby Lobby. They're my little Christmas shop here, and got their little bulbs, their Christmas bulbs here, and just a container here. They come in a dozen of them for my little Christmas there. They're $4. Again, 40% off with what they're doing right now, of course, with with the holiday stuff. So I got a couple packages of these to use as my hands. If you don't want to do that, like I said, I use the wood balls. If you use the pom-poms, you can use those. But I'm just trying to, again, add some character, add some color, add some fun. And you can match them too, if you want to match them to the color that you have, or add some more color to it. However you want to do that. But I use these as my hands. So I'm just going to take a couple, and I'm just going to insert them right inside there. So we'll get our hot glue out here again. Glue around there. And just going to tuck it in there. So just making something a little bit different, a little more colorful. They probably have even the round ones if you want to get just the round ornament bulbs, but these came out. Also, it gives it a little bit more of that bird-like view that a lot of people were saying they look like owls, and they can make them into owls. So it gives them a little bit more of a little bird claw there look to them too. So we're just going to stick a couple in there, glue them on. I close the tops once I get, normally what I do is put the bottom in, put the stuffing in, and then just put a little layer of glue in there to seal that, pinch it. We'll get the other side here. Glue it down. Now, it's been a little while since I've been making many of the gnomes, so I wasn't used to the glue gun burns again. Got used to those working with putting this together again. So let me find another arm here. We're going to put this together. And this is up to you, however you want to do this, and have some fun with it. And you could do different color hands. Just again, trying to come up with a little bit different character. I like the idea of having these as characters. I'm going to show you in a moment here the different things available because I found some of the material I can only get in certain colors. So we're going to get to that in just a moment. Also found I had people asking if they were going to be part of my next book, which is coming out here in just a couple weeks here. And no, they're not part of that. The books actually take about a year and a half to get together, and a lot of fun to do and everything, a lot of creativity going into them. But these guys are not part of them, and maybe in the future we'll get together and make a book of these characters. But for right now, so I'm just going to take and fold that beard back a little bit, and right there where the beard comes together there, glue the arm to the body. A lot of times too, when I'm making these for videos, I'll have things pre-made. But here I want to show you all the different, putting them together here. Again, I have the bodies pre-made and the arms, but as far as being able to go from one to another. Now that I got the arm glued on, I'm going to glue the beard down. And we'll grab another arm here. We're going to put you out of the way here so I can just concentrate on one for right now. The fun thing is, typically when I normally make one of a tutorial or video to show everybody, I'll make up to at least 6 of each piece, just to have in case I make a mistake somewhere along the way. So you'll see I have a whole clump of arms. I have a whole bunch of bodies sitting around here. And that's how these guys came about, where they were just extra bodies basically that I had laying around here from prior videos, and extra pieces, and just started putting them together. Which I've talked to a number of other gnome makers who always say they have parts and pieces laying around too. So here we have our basic startup with a gnome. We have the body, arms, and beard. Now comes the fun part and the cheat part. This is something that, people are expecting something big, something fancy. It's not. It's simple. I went into Hobby Lobby and I stood in the aisle and I saw a bunch of colors, a ton of colors. And I just grabbed a bunch of them, grabbed a lot of different things and thought it was great. And these are from their spring shop. They're napkin holders. Might need a little bit of work to get them all together here, get the pieces off. I'm going to give you the numbers here. These are on clearance. I actually got these. They were supposed to be $9.99. They were on sale for 90% off in the store, and they had a ton of these left over. So I grabbed up a bunch of them, also went online and checked and ordered them. The number to order, and I'll write this down too, I'll give this instructions, is 5500335. So if you're going online, they have them for 75% off. So they'd be $2.50 to order these through Hobby Lobby. Again, it's 5500335. And they have 4 different colors. They have the green, they have the orange, they have a reddish pink, and a yellow. I have the reddish pink and the yellow ones on order coming in. So I got a bunch of the greens and some of the yellows there to start out with. Again, first time I was in there, I was just playing. This loop I take off of there. I grab my needle nose pliers, which have the wire cutters on it, or if you just have regular wire cutters, I just use them to snap that little ring off of there. And the different colors do have different item numbers, but if you look at if you go online to look it up, you'll see that you can check. There's a box there, you can look and see the different colors. And again, it's 5500335, and that's through Hobby Lobby. And we'll just set that aside. I haven't found a use for that partial ring yet, but I'm sure I will. So this just becomes our character's hat. Simple as that. I told you, I cheat. I didn't have to build the hat or anything. It's already made for me. I put a good amount of glue on there. And that's another reason why I like the flat top, is because I'm able to put it right down on top of my gnome body. If I have a cone or if I have my basic pattern, I still can put it right down on top. My first one, as I said, I did with my basic pattern. I just put it right on top of the seam there. And it worked out fine. So now I have also looks like a pineapple top there. Again, show you, this was the trick, because this is what everybody's looking for, is how do you do the eyes? This is the easy trick here. Hobby Lobby had a ton of these. At least my Hobby Lobby did, and I hope they're still in others. Again, 90% off in the store. They were 75% off online. I checked before I went on, and did the video here. They still have them there. 75% off, they're $2. 90% off was less than $1. They were 80 cents in store. So these are napkin ring holders that come with feathers attached to them. Now this is where a lot of you are going, oh, he does cheat. Yes, I do cheat. If I can find something I can use, I'm going to use great. Now, since I have an orange beard here, I'm not going to use the orange. But you can see there are different colors. They have a green, blue, a couple different types of pinks on there, oranges. So at least 4 or 5 different colors. And I'll give you the numbers here too, so you can, if you're ordering online, 5480652 is the item number, 5480652. And again, if you put that in there, it'll come up with the different colors. It'll show you, because the item numbers are just a little bit different, like the pink 5480629, but it'll show you all the different colors available if you put one in there. So I'm going to just choose my good old blue eyes here. I'm going to take the pieces off. And we'll put the rest of these aside to build other ones. This is the part everybody wanted to see. How do you do the eyes? How do you do the eyes? So I got these fuzzy eyes, and it's gonna keep some fuzz back there or top, doesn't matter. And I'm actually just gonna glue them, maybe move them around a little bit, find a spot where they're looking good there. Now, again, this isn't quite broad enough on here, so I'm not gonna glue the whole rim of the eye, but I'm gonna go around a little bit more than half. I'm gonna glue that, and just trying to glue the outer rim on there. And then hold it down. And I try to line it up. Now you're gonna get these feathers coming over top of each other. You can push them down a little bit. Like I said, they can go behind. It's all just part of the character. And once I get one glued on there, most of you are so creative. You just needed to know where to get the materials and what type of materials. So that's why I wanted to share with you what I've come up with here and how I built them and what type of materials. And so now I just squeeze this one in as close as I can right next to the other one. And so these are feathers sticking out there. I did buy a couple bags of feathers originally to decide if I was going to try to do something else to add feathers instead of the beard. And as you can see, I'm putting them on right over the beard. So the beard is actually underneath in the background. I got the beard showing through here. And this is something too that if you don't like the feathers being this long, you can clip them. But I like the wavy type of thing. Now there are going to be some that are going to be a little bit longer, some a little crazy, and I might just do a little trimming along the way there. So there I have my goggle eyeball to them. Now people are asking, okay, what did you use for eyes? How did you do that? Well, the first one I used were some bloodshot eyes that I got from Dollar Tree. These are in their Halloween section, and they do have several different colors. I found this year that they have blue, green, yellow, red. Unfortunately, you have to buy a whole pack, at least through my Dollar Tree, of the same color. I bought 2 or 3 packs of different colors. So again, they're just in the Halloween section there. And these can be, they fit right there. And I can glue those right in, just like that. Glue them on there to get that started. Or, again, that was the first method. The other eyes, which I've been experimenting with and like to do with everything, you can find in the party sections. Most places, Party City, Hobby Lobby, they also have them, again, the Halloween section for Dollar Tree there. And these are the eye rings. Just, I don't know what they call them, the wiggly, googly eyes, and they are. They're just those fun rings at the dollar store that I use for the eyes here. But the trick is, again, I pick up my pliers, I got my wire cutters in there, so some type of wire cutter. And what I'm doing, this may require somebody to just put a little pressure on there, is snipping off the eyeballs. Let me grab another one since that one went flying. Like I said, I try to have at least 5 or 6 of each thing laying around, so when something does go, I have an alternative. So I snip them off. So I got that little ring part left, but I try to do as close to the eyeball as possible when I'm cutting it. And now these ones here, you may be able to see I put the corner facing down. I'm going to turn and put the corner facing up. Just my own preference. You can put them different ways, however you want to make with your character. And I'm just gluing the back of them. Just gluing the back of that eye, setting it in there. And I love how much color these guys have. Just how much color going, just comes out in the character. And put that together. So there we have our basic eyes. How to do that. I know it's a lot of things. A lot of people are asking about that. The other things, we're going to go into the body here a little bit more as far as, putting additions on here. Give you some ideas too. And this is like, you build it how you want to with your character. The whole thing here, like I said, you can get these for about $2 each. These were $2.50 online for the hat. The eyes, dollar store. So the whole thing together, probably about $10 in material at the worst case scenario. I spent about $50 altogether buying pieces and everything to make about 15 of these. So it's worth having all that, even though I spent $50. I could sell these. I haven't even tried to sell them, for a different, for a price or anything. But let's say we go $25 to $30 on a price. I'm just talking a little bit of marketing here because I love getting into marketing and sales, basically, and expenses. And if I spend $50 in material, I want to see how much I'm going to make back into that. So if I've got enough material to make 15 of these, and I sell 2 of them for $25, I make my $50 back right there. So I still have 13 more to sell. And like I said, if I sell them for $30, $35, whatever it comes out that I decide to sell them for, I only need to sell 2 at the most to make back my investment. Because some people look at it that way and say, wow, you're going to put $10, $15 in. What are you going to price it out with? By the time I price things down, buy a quantity, it's going to work out. I need to sell maybe 2 of them to cover my cost. I think I should be able to do that quite easily. But that's my marketing moment there for you. Now, the nose, I picked up these floral things that I have no idea what they were, but I saw them in Dollar Tree one day. And I just thought they were great to put on to, character for some gnome somewhere. And I wasn't quite sure what they were, but they have all these different colors. This was just in the beginning of the fall season there that I got these, the flocking ball. And they have blue, red, orange, yellow. So I thought they were beautiful, add some character to them here. Now, if you don't have from Dollar Tree, that's fine. Pom-poms. Pom-poms look great to put on there. Also, again from Hobby Lobby, the little My Little Christmas. I'm sure all the Hobby Lobbies have the My Little Christmas set up and everything there. They had the same thing in our store. They have these round ornaments. And as you can see, they're basically the same size. And you can get them in, there are at least 6 different colors. These work great too. They're a plastic bulb. Just take off the top, and you can use that as a nose. So give you a couple options there. Like I said, pom-poms, the ornaments. These are just glitter ornaments. They work great. Easy to find. Again, if you're picking up things at Hobby Lobby, these are there in all different colors. The ones that I have here, just nice and fuzzy type thing. They have their stem on them there that I just pull out and throw away. And I'm able to just glue on my nose there. Again, I'm just playing with some color, putting something on there. I've noticed too, and when I'm rewatching my videos, I say again a lot. So that gives us our nose. Now, you could complete him right there, just like that, if you want to do just that. What I've done is I added some more character in my arms, and I've added some feet to them. And how I did that, this is something that I'm sure I can find somewhere else or some other material, but this was in the My Little Christmas, and I picked it up, and both my wife and I had no idea what the heck it was. But it's got all this color. It's got these pom-poms added to it. When I finally got it home and unfolded it, found out that it's a mini tree skirt. I don't know. But the thing unfolded and has this backing to it. So it gave me a good amount of material, basically. And that's what I was looking for. Something very colorful, something with a lot of material. I can use the pom-poms if I want, cut them off. And again, just put that on for his nose. Or I've also decided some of them I'm going to add a tail to them, put a little tail behind them and do that. So first thing I did was I cut the backing off. I went along the seam. This is probably going to be something that takes the longest time to do is if you just go along, but I wanted to save as much material as possible. So I took the backing off. Now, you could just cut it out however you want. As I said, I took a little bit more care to taking it out. I usually try to reuse as much material as possible so I can use this for some other project. And now I have my material here. One of the other ideas I had, and if you want to try and do it, get another body here, is instead of putting a beard on, if you looked at my very first one I did, which I don't have, I gave it away, actually, I gave it away. I used that as the front. And you could actually just wrap. Look at that. I already have a tail. You could just wrap your body, cut it off, glue it down, and you can have them be fuzzy all the way around. Again, just an idea, and then build your eyes on top of that. Get your hat up top there. Trying to just give you some ideas that you can freeform, do your own thing. And I'm going to build one like that eventually, just for the fun of it, so I have the whole body covered. It's a nice soft fuzz there. But what I used this for too was just my shoes and around the arms. And I found I could get quite a bit out of it. Now I also found that I had to cut it like I cut my beards, by cutting the back. Don't use your scissors. If you use the scissors, again, you're going to do like the beard material. You're going to cut off a lot of the nice stuff there. So you have to spend a little bit of time with your X-Acto knife or with your scissors on the back. Now, the shoes, the feet, I'm using my basic Dollar Tree shoes here. As you can see, if you go back through, and I'm just trying to tell you, if you go back through like my videos, you'll see I add things on. There's more and more, but I use the basics. I go back to the basics every time. If if you have different shoes that you make, go ahead, use the shoes that you make. If you make them out of eggshells, the Easter eggshells, if you make them out of the toilet paper rolls, however you make them, you can do that too. You don't have to have the Dollar Tree shoes. This is just usually what I end up using, simplest for me. Hobby Lobby right now in their ornament section, they have some great boots. If you wanted to put the boots on there and decorate them, let me see if I got a pair. I'm using these for other projects, going to be using them, but they have the boots there. If you wanted to add something to them or cover them, you can do that. These are, again, are on sale for the 40% off, and I'm not doing a Hobby Lobby commercial here. It's just that that's where I got a lot of the materials from. But I use the Dollar Tree boots there. So much of this just coming from Hobby Lobby and Dollar Tree. Now, I'm going to cut it out. So what I need is about 5.5 inches long in order to cover the shoes, and 1.5 inches wide. And again, I'm just going to be cutting the back. This is, again, one of the hardest things is in cutting this material. And just trying to be careful. I'm trying not to cut through, but just my backing. And cut that. It's a little bit stringy where it was connected at the very top there, but so here I have a fuzzy piece. And this is your option too. You could put something on the bottom here, just put this on top of a piece of felt and cut around it and glue a piece of felt to the bottom, or just leave it plain. I just left these plain down here on those ones. It's however you want to do to cover it. I wouldn't put this on the bottom just because it's got so much to it. So then I'm going to run a glue down the center there, around the edge. Again, there's so many videos out there to show how to put together shoes, and glue that right down. And I'm just going to run that along the edge of the shoe and around to the other side. So let me run the glue. Gotta say, I've done pretty good not getting my fingers in the glue. Probably jinx myself now, but and of course we're going to do this twice because we got 2 shoes here. And put some glue on there. Fun part of it is because it's so fluffy and everything, you really don't even see a seam on there. And if it overlaps a little bit, that's fine too. Just overlap a little bit because you have so much of the fuzz there. And then I add just a little bit of glue to the front, a little bit around the rim there, just so I can fold the fuzz. And I'm not sure what this is called as far as fur or fuzz. There we go. Now I get my fingers in the glue. So there, I mean, it doesn't look like a shoe or a foot or anything, but that is my shoe. And as I said, I'm going to make 2 of those. And you want to do about 1.5 inches. Cutting just the back. And get this cut out here. These would be great characters in a book, and some people brought that up, and I thought that would be kind of neat to make 4 of them, pretty much the same type of thing, each of them, and then to give them some sort of style, some sort of character, and I love it. Everybody just came up with some great names. I mean, I had people for the last couple days just sending me tons and tons of names, and just fun to see, and I love the Muppets. People who know me know I love the Muppets, so when they compared it to a Muppet, Fraggle, Sesame Street, that's just a high compliment to me, and I just appreciate that, because that's something that's always been characters in my life that I've always loved them. So, and if you want to make one and call it whatever you want, that's fine by me too. There's no way I can make enough to supply the demand of people who wanted these, and to have them, and just to have some fun with them. And the letters I've got from people, oh, their grandkids, their family members that saw them and started smiling, that's precious there. When people ask why I do this, or why I would do it and just show people and give it away, that's the reason why. Just because you can do something that other people love. And again, as I said earlier, I spent $50, I believe, on being able to make 15 of them. In the grand scale of things, $50 is nothing. So if it brings a happiness to somebody, I'd rather just, give them to some people sometimes, do some things that I can do for others. And again, I don't want to go off on a sidekick there. I love to, I get into marketing and sales and talking about giving things. And now I'm just going to put some glue on the side here and press them together. This is just for stability, to keep them together. Also, make sure that you're not gluing to your table. As you can see, I put a cutting board down just so I'm not cutting on my table or gluing to my table. But I just put a little bit of glue. Don't put a lot, just a little bit, enough to hold them together a little bit. I know it's got the fur in there. Not as easy as when you're gluing like the felt to felt. And then I'll add, and I'm gonna just for doing it here, just add some rice in there, just because it's here and it's small. You can use your pebbles, whatever you use, just to add in there for some weight. And tuck that down in there. Again, I'm just adding this for some weight to the bottom of it. My original gnome body is going to have enough weight to it if I didn't want to put anything on it as far as feet. And you don't have to glue them together if you don't want to. Just make sure they're next to each other. And then I got him centered on there. And here I add enough glue to cover where I put my weights on there. I don't try to put overly too much because I don't want it bleeding out the sides. And so he's going to sit there. Now, the next thing I do, and this is pretty much the finishing touches here, is I add the frill to the arms. And I'm using the same thing that I just got here, my piece here. I'm doing this almost the same type of thing. I'm just cutting along. Now, it's up to you how much you want to cover on the arm there. The arm, you can cover the whole thing if you want, or if you just want to cover the last little bit. And that's what I did here. I took about 1 inch and covered the bottom of the arm there. And once again, cutting along. The other thing you're going to find too is that you're going to have these little balls that get in the way here, so you can just cut them off. If you're using this, I mean, you can go to Joann's. I haven't gone to as far as Joann's, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, and searched for other materials. This was something that just quickly came together last week. I had no plans whatsoever to work on this. I have another story that I'm just playing with right now, the gnome world. If you guys have gotten involved in that I'm writing and drawing the pictures of and trying to post. I'm trying to do that on a weekly basis. Well, I'm sort of delayed right now on a week, probably, just so I can get these made and show you how I made them. So here I've just cut out a piece. There's going to be some little stuff hanging there. Make sure you throw that away. And now that I got the feet glued on, I do this just as a wraparound, so it's a little bit longer, which is fine because I can either just add it on as it goes around. You'll see it's a little bit wider. I can cut off a little bit, or I can just glue it on there. And I prefer just to glue it on there, add a little bit more fuzz to it. And that's what they are. They're fuzzy creatures, the Fuzzles. And put them together. Sort of the old, for us old timers, the old Phyllis Diller look there. And then do one more over here. Funny thing is, I didn't realize till just now I used a green one and a red one for the hands, but cool. Like I said, we just go with the color. Let's have some fun. Something a little bit different, something fun. That's a fuzzle. And let's get one more here. I was just going to end it there, but I want to finish them all the way here. And build him to show you. I hope everybody enjoys and everybody thinks, okay, this wasn't just too simple. As I said, I'm going to put on there what the numbers are, so if you do want to go ahead and order them through Hobby Lobby, they are seasonal items, so I don't know if your store will still have. Like I said, my store had a ton, especially the eye rings here that I used left over. And they were glad for me to come in there and take a whole handful of them off their shelves. And put this aside. As I said, I'm probably going to get, oh, I can't even tell you right now, shoes and arms out of this like crazy, just this little piece. So it's worth it to have a couple of them. You can also use your faux fur if you want. If you wanted to use, just looking at some of the colors, if you have a faux fur and you want to put that on instead, that you don't get this, material. There's a little thread there from the seams. But just trying to add as much color, as much fun to these little guys. I said. Now, if I want, I can add little tail to the back. I can add more fuzz to the back. If I wanted to do just, if I didn't want to cover the whole thing at once, put the fuzz on the back there. More character. When I'm building it, I can use different type of beard materials. I can add, longer beard to it. Just to give you a rough idea, this is how I put together the Fuzzles. And trying to make it, I know if I stand it up there, you're just going to see the top of its head there. So I'll lay them down here for you to show you, give you some ideas there. I'll give you a list of what I used as far as materials. You build them how you would like to build them. If you're liking to see what's, what we're doing here, they're just a bunch of fun little gnome creatures. So enjoyed making them. I'm glad so many people have taken off, that they love them. Glad to hear the stories. Always love to hear the stories of what you're doing, whether it's something that you've made, anything that you've made. I love to try to keep up with that. I work 2 full-time jobs and writing, so it's a little bit, keeps me a little bit busy, but love to get involved and hear what people are doing and see them when they're sending pictures to me too. So just have some fun with them. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you're able to get some of the materials there to build them. If not, I will be, working on some more of these here too. So thank you, and thank you for taking the time.